An incompetent man was kicked out of the house. While walking on the street, he was hit by a truck. After regaining consciousness, he finds himself transformed into a child in a completely unfamiliar place. Some time had passed when he realized he was reincarnated. 6 months passed and Rudius was able to understand the language and learn very quickly. While Rudius put on his underwear to peek at the maid, his mother discovered. While watching his father practice the sword, Rudius accidentally fell. To ease his pain, Zenit used something he didn't expect: magic. Some time has passed, although Rudius was able to walk and explore his house on his own. At the same time, he discovered a chest containing many strange books. To read it, he spent a year memorizing the word and its meaning. According to the book, if you want to use magic, you must first have magical powers in your body and chant spells. Rudius also read according to the instructions of the book. Immediately a source of mana in his body was ejected, forming a water ball. When Rudius tried again, he found that he didn't need to chant and the magic was still successfully activated. Also, because the amount of magic power was too low, he lost consciousness only twice using it. After checking for a while, Rudius realized that the book was written incorrectly. The amount of magic power will increase with frequency of use and there is no need to cast any spells. After understanding the process of using magic, Rudius decided to switch to intermediate magic. He just read along, but the magic power accumulated, blowing away his entire room. When Rudius's mother saw the magic book beside him, she smiled and asked him if he had read the contents. Since this is intermediate magic, she thought she should hire a mage to tutor him in magic. His father wanted Rudius to learn swordsmanship, so the two started arguing. Today there is a young girl. She goes to the magic house of Rudius named Roxy. Upon learning that Rudius was his student, Roxy immediately expressed disappointment. Because there are so many people. Since she accepted to be a magic teacher, she accepted the job. This time, she used low-level magic as a model to destroy Rudius' mother's tree. Immediately Roxy runs back to the tree and heals with healing magic. Rudius was about to cast a spell, but he didn't finish the sentence and activated the spell. Knowing that Rudius doesn't chant often, Roxy realizes that he's worth the practice. At this moment, Zenit stepped out and scolded Roxy once because the tree that had just recovered was broken by Rudius. It seemed Roxy was sad, so he comforted her. Roxy has been teaching magic for 6 months and he has learned intermediate magic. In addition to learning magic, Rudius was also taught by Roxy about information in this world. Roxy's hair color is quite similar to a demon named Sub. About 400 years ago, there was a war between humans and demons. In that battle, the Sub clan went on a rampage, destroying their own kind. After that, Roxy said to never go near the person with blue hair and a seal in the middle of his forehead. It's been over a year since Roxy's arrival here and his magic studies are progressing smoothly. However, regarding swordsmanship, it seems he still hasn't learned anything. He is still haunted by the events of his previous life, so most of the time, Rudius just stays at home and doesn't dare go out. Today, everyone has a birthday party for Rudius. Roxy gives Rudius a small homemade wand that increases the user's spells. Now that Rudius has mastered intermediate magic, Roxy has nothing left to teach him. So tomorrow Roxy will hold the graduation exam for you. Today, Roxy led Rudius to a field and then cast a spell. You need to memorize the spell and follow her to graduate. The sky began to turn the storm over, killing the horse. Fortunately, it is possible to use healing magic. After seeing Rudius use magic even stronger than himself, Roxy realizes that he has nothing left to teach him. As of today, Rudius has become a magician. Before parting with the Rudius family, Roxy gave him a good luck charm. Rudius has received many things from Roxy, so he will always cherish the girl who has been by his side for the past year. Since the day Roxy left, Rudius has been able to go out on his own without fear. While preparing to go home, he accidentally saw a person being bullied. His father told him to help the weak, so Rudius used low-level magic to drive them away. While helping him, he noticed that his hair color was emerald, but luckily there was no mark in the middle of his forehead. After conversing, Rudius learns that the boy's name is Sylphiette. Since the two of them have nothing to do, Rudius decides to teach low-level magic. That night, when Rudius came home, he was scolded by his father for hitting the neighbor's son, although he tried to explain but was always scolded without listening. As time passed, Sylphiette's magic power increased greatly. Although it was a bit difficult at first, Sylphiette, who had only done it a few times, was able to use magic without chanting. That afternoon, it suddenly rained heavily, so Rudius took you to his house. He was about to ask Sylphiette to take a bath, but she hesitated. Rudius pretends not to care and then suddenly finds out that Sylphiette is a girl. This made Sylphiette cry. The next day Rudius sat contemplating about Sylphiette, and swordsmanship hadn't developed at all, so Rudius was a bit boring. His father immediately shared how to make up with her. Then he and Sylphiette made up. Today, Rudius received news that she will have a brother in the future. At the same time, the whole family was shocked when the maid also announced that she was pregnant. No need to ask, the person who made that pregnancy is none other than Rudius's father. It's bad this time. The maid intends to stay and take care of Rudius. After that, she will go back to her hometown to raise the children alone. However, if something happened to the maid, the baby in the womb would not be able to survive. In this case, the maid is not to blame, only Rudius's father is to blame. After being advised by Rudius, his mother decided to let the maids live together as part of the family. The Lisa maid still doesn't understand why she is being helped. So from today, it will be a lifetime to repay Rudius. A year has passed and Rudius's two younger siblings have been born with the names Norn and Asia. Even though his father is suffering, Rudius still respects him because he is very strong. There are 3 schools of swordsmanship and he has reached the intermediate level in those 3 schools. Currently, Sylphiette is very advanced in magic, and so is Rudius. You just said that you intend to learn magic elsewhere. Sylphiette cried and tried to hold him back. That night his father gave him a letter from Roxy. Currently, Roxy is living in the royal capital to teach magic to the crown prince of the kingdom. In addition, she also mastered king-class magic and put in more effort. She said if Rudius has any questions about magic then go to the Magic Academy for advice. The very next morning, he wanted to enroll in the Magic Academy, but he was afraid that Sylphiette would be upset so he wanted to take her with him. However, this is impossible because if Sylphiette is included, he won't be able to take care of her. Rudius still didn't give up, but wanted to find a job on his own to pay Sylphiette's tuition. The next morning, a beastkin girl named Ghislaine came to his house to take him to work. Then his father beat him unconscious. After regaining consciousness, Rudius finds himself lying in a carriage and from tomorrow he will be working with Ghislaine. Ghislaine has now handed over the letter his father sent him. He has found a job for you and you will tutor a 9-year-old girl. This man is Philip, the mayor of this town. In addition, Philip is also related to his father. Rudius will be Philip's tutor and daughter. Also, he hopes you won't give up anytime soon. Rudius was about to impress, but was scolded and even slapped. In order to survive, he used magic to push Eris out of his body and found a hiding place. While hiding, Rudius devises a plan. That night, Rudius and Eris were caught in an abandoned house somewhere uninhabited. She kept screaming when a tall guy burst into a fight. They seem a bit stubborn so Rudius has to take care of them. After listening to the conversation between 2 bystanders, Rudius realizes that this is no longer his plan. He himself didn't know the power of others and didn't want to die, so he ran away first. If Eris promised after leaving this place not to scream and hit him again, he would take her with him. After going out, the two rented a carriage to return to the city. However, just as he was moving through the city, a servant in the house was waiting and another stranger grabbed Eris from behind. Rudius immediately blocked the way with magic and chased after them. However, if he used offensive magic, they would kill Eris. Rudius then used magic, created a small explosion in the sky and then used magic to hit him. However, just as Rudius was pulling Eris away from that spot, one of them threw a sword at him. Thought to be dead, Ghislaine appeared and solved everything. The next morning, all returned to the villa. Rudius thought the plan had completely failed, but Eris specifically let him call her name. That means she accepted Rudius as her tutor.